Let's take a live look outside right now, downtown Denver and Ball Arena today, sitting in the upper 40s. It's going to be warm, but those winds are going to pick up. Katie's got the details here in just a moment. Thanks for joining us. I'm Corey Rose.
And I'm Drew Carney, and there is Katie talking about those details right here, right now.
Winds, yes, they'll pick up. We're not under a red flag warning, but we'll be breezy in Denver. It's all ahead of some big changes this week. Ready for
systems, right?
Couple of systems. We get to go on a ride. We're talking moisture, something that we have desperately been needing here across the state, and we're looking at it becoming more organized, widespread, meaningful precipitation. Not right now. This morning, it is calm, getting you out the door. Happy Monday. It is April 13th, and temperatures currently in the upper 40s to low 50s. I do want to point out that we're starting off at 48 degrees. We're expecting our highs on Friday afternoon to reach right around now, so some colder air on the way. But in the meantime, today, this morning, we're in the 50s from Boulder to Firestone, upper 40s in Castle Rock as well. Partly to mostly cloudy skies, dry conditions for this Monday. Temperatures will reach the low 70s right around 3 o'clock. Gustiest winds expected for the second half of the day. Sustained winds around 5 to 10 miles per hour, but those wind gusts from the southwest could reach around 25. Now, elevated fire danger, this includes a big portion of the state. It'll be low relative humidity, warm, dry, especially over the southeastern plains, but from Conifer into the foothills, up north into Fort Collins, northeastern Colorado as well, we'll start to see wind gusts around 30 to 40 miles per hour. Tomorrow will start off dry, more mountain snow set to accumulate. Some pretty significant totals we're looking at for portions of higher terrain, a rain-snow mix even into the foothills, but it'll be wet weather for the Denver area and northeastern plains. We'll take a closer look at some of those totals that we're expecting to see with this moisture rolling in for Tuesday still to come.
Katie, thank you so much. Happy Monday, everyone. Taking a live look of I-70 near Pena Boulevard. The reason I'm showing you the CDOT camera for your Monday morning is because we have two crashes not far from the CDOT camera. So right now we are seeing significant slowdowns for anyone taking either Pena Boulevard or I-70. Let's switch things over to our main maps. This is that first crash, our closest camera to this crash, westbound I-70 at Airport Boulevard. That left lane is partially blocked. It looks like two vehicles were involved and crews are there on scene. So crews are really on that left shoulder and also that right shoulder for anyone taking westbound I-70. Let me show you what this looks like on our maps. So this is that crash that I just showed you for anyone taking westbound I-70 just as soon as you approach Pena Boulevard. Then we also have another crash that's happening southbound Pena Boulevard at 40th Avenue. So if you're leaving Denver International Airport, you're going to see tons of delays just after Tower Road. Keep this in mind, Pena Boulevard, it is going to be a mess, as well as westbound I-70 as soon as you approach that area. Other than that, I'm not tracking any other crashes. These are the only two crashes that I'm tracking. I'm just seeing a lot of slowdowns for your Monday morning.
Brianna, thank you. Colorado lawmakers are taking up a controversial bill that could change when farm workers earn overtime pay. It's up for debate at the State House later today. 9 News reporter Courtney Yoon joins us live from the state capitol this morning. Courtney, right now, most farm workers qualify for overtime after 48 hours in a week, but this bill would raise that.
Yes, that's right, Corey. So right now, under the 2021 Agricultural Workers Bill of Rights, farm workers start earning overtime, most of them around 48 hours. But Senate Bill 121 would raise that threshold to 56 hours. So advocates like Hunter Knapp with the Agricultural Workers' Rights Coalition says that's a step backwards. He points to research showing long work weeks can increase injuries and health risks, and says many workers are already relying on overtime pay to make ends meet. Knapp also says interviews with more than 1,000 Colorado farm workers suggest the current rules are working, though some employers still aren't consistently paying overtime. But supporters of this bill, including the sponsor of it, Democratic State Senator Robert Rodriguez, say many farms are struggling to stay afloat. He argues higher labor costs could force some operations to cut jobs or shut down. Rodriguez also says the current rules can reduce workers' hours and take-home pay. Knapp disagrees.
In the 1700s and into the 1800s, the agriculture industry relied on slavery. Fortunately, we had the Civil War and that practice was banned, but we have seen, with that as a baseline, ever since then, agricultural workers have been excluded from labor protections.
The Senate has already passed this bill, and now it moves for its second reading in the House, which should happen sometime today. After that, it'll move on to its final vote. Live in Denver, Courtney Yoon, 9 News.
All right, thank you, Courtney. The Small Business Administration is offering disaster loans to small businesses in Colorado impacted by current drought conditions. The loans are available to small businesses, small agriculture cooperatives, and nurseries that have experienced losses related to the drought starting last November. The loans are designed to cover expenses that include fixed debt, payroll, and other bills, and can be up to $2 million.
In Northglenn, residents are raising concerns about registered sex offenders possibly being housed in a mental health transitional home less than 1,000 feet from a school. The issue came up several times during a Sunday town hall with state lawmakers. The city says there have been more than 70 calls for service at the home in just the last 2 years. Northglenn Mayor Meredith Leidy says the state disclosed it had been operating the transitional home in the city, and residents grew concerned about its proximity to a nearby school. The city has an ordinance that prohibits registered sex offenders from living within 1,000 feet of a school.
In our city, the ordinance is 1,000 feet. And so this is one of those moments where the state has overridden our home rule and said, we're going to do it anyway.
In a statement, the Colorado Department of Human Services says it has agreed to change its policy and will no longer allow people who are required to register as sex offenders. But Leidy says because this is just an internal policy, it could change at any time. Two state lawmakers who represent the area have introduced a bill that would address the issue directly.
Quick reminder this morning, tax day coming up this week on Wednesday, April the 15th. If you're not ready, you can file an extension, which gives you until October to submit your return. But the catch here every year is this: the IRS reminding taxpayers any taxes you owe this year still need to be paid by Wednesday. Meanwhile, President Trump says the U.S. Navy is preparing to block ships from entering or leaving the Strait of Hormuz.
The move comes after weekend negotiations between the U.S. and Iran ended without a deal. The U.S. Central Command says the blockade will impact all Iranian ports and coastal areas, but it will not impede vessels moving between non-Iranian ports. The strait is a critical route for oil and gas. Vice President J.D. Vance led the peace talks over the weekend with Iranian officials. Both sides said there are still significant differences that remain. Vance said Iran did not commit to forego building a nuclear weapon in the future, and President Trump said he is not pressing for another round of peace talks.
No, I don't care if they come back or not. If they don't come back, I'm fine. Their military is gone. Their missiles are largely depleted. The manufacturing capability for missiles and drones is largely defeated.
Meanwhile, talks between Israeli and Lebanese diplomats are expected to take place this week.